Hi, this is another little video in the series of what to do and how to explaining all the bits and pieces that go with each particular concept. So this one is Dynamics and Expressive Techniques. So with Dynamics and Expressive Techniques, we've got a little dog sitting there and there's a reason for that. You need to do what's called identify, I for identify, T for terms, C for changes, H for how, so itch. So if you imagine a scratching dog or an itchy dog, or you've got an itchy bite, then you're doing well. And for those of you who like mind maps, here we go. So we've got identify, terms, changes, and how. And there he goes again, the little itchy dog. Okay, so identify. Just like in all the other concepts, you need to identify the instruments. So identify each instrument used in each section of the excerpt and explain how they produce a sound. Briefly describe its role, the instrument's role, whether it's for the melody, rhythmic, chordal, melodic accompaniment, etc., etc. T for terms. Okay, this is where you have to know your Italian terms. So you need to use the correct Italian term or terms to describe how and what is happening in the music. And believe me, if you get a piece of music or get this sort of question, there's going to be that many in there. It's not funny. For the terms, some things that you might need are for melody, melisma, legato, staccato, slurs, trills, slides. For tempo, don't forget the correct tempo. You look for any changes. We're looking for the Italian terms there. We're talking andante, allegro, allegretto, grave, lento, prestissimo, all those bits and pieces. And dynamics. Are there any crescendos or decrescendos? In other words, are they getting louder or are they getting softer? Is it fortissimo, forte, mezzo, piano, piano, pianissimo? Describe the dynamics in each section or even by each instrument, because sometimes it might be that the underlying instruments are really, really soft and playing pianissimo, yet the vocal line might be quite loud and mezzo forte. Moving along. Now, inevitably, whenever you have one of these sort of questions, there'll be some sort of change. It won't stay constant throughout. So you need to listen for changes in dynamics and state what they are and where they occur. So did it go from pianissimo to fortissimo, or did it have a crescendo to that, or what it is? Listen for the changes in tempo and state what they are and when they occur. Again, do they get faster? Do they get slower between sections and bits and pieces? And you need to listen for any changes in how an instrument is played. For example, are they going from being played arco, which is bowing, to pizzicato for a violin, which is plucking, or for a clean and picked to distorted and strummed for an electric guitar? So you need to listen for those sorts of changes. And you need to identify any major changes between sections. For example, it might be a change between different types of instruments playing. So it might go from an orchestra to a rock band, for example. And there's a little guy changing the tyre on the car. And the last bit is how. How is each instrument played? Is it arco, pizzicato, distorted, clean, picked, strummed, muted, blown, flutter-tongued, etc., etc.? You need to be able to name every expressive technique the instruments use to produce a sound. And this is where it comes in handy if you know your own instrument really well and know other instruments. And there's our little ear. And believe it or not, it sounds like there's not a lot to do in dynamics and expressive techniques, but this is where you really need to know all of your Italian terms, and be able to not only listen for them and recognise them, but to explain them and state when and where. And that's all we need for this one.